Just 2 weeks behind Knox Johnson, he continued eastwards for another lap of the Southern Ocean to save my soul, as he put it. This is the real solo race, sailing like it's 1968.
Forcément, tous les gens qui reviendront de la Golden Globe Race, forcément, il faut s'attendre à ce qu'ils aient changé.
It's a great story and it's the 50th anniversary, and it's a great opportunity to relive the original solo sailing when technology wasn't available, where we're just using sextants and wind-up clocks to find your position. And it's really the story of humanity and human endeavour in the extreme. So the world has never seen anything like this event.
Well, g'day everyone. So I did press another wrong button then, but we're here, and this is I forget what the number is even now. I think it's number 5, 6. Okay, number 6. So we've been at it for 6 weeks, and we've got about 20 to go, which is kind of interesting. So, been a week of anniversaries. Ayrton had a birthday, but also on the 14th of June. Was the anniversary of Sir Robin taking off and setting the benchmark as being the first person ever to go round. So that's 52 years ago on the 14th of June. And then, of course, today is very auspicious because of this gentleman here. Some of you might not know this picture, but this is my favourite picture of Bernard Matessier on Joshua. It's in his book. If you've read the books, of course, Bernard and Joshua are part of the GGR for 2022. We're celebrating his epic adventure in the race, and sailing on Joshua, of course. But the anniversary this is when he passed away 16 years ago. So it's been 16 years since we lost this amazing guy who has become quite the what would you say? Quite the well. I always think of him as being the gentle giant, the philosopher, the sailing hippie. Everyone's got a different opinion, but certainly a great impact and a great inspiration. I read all his books by the time I was 15, by the time I was 18, and great guy. So I'll get rid of it. This painting here from Jean-Pierre, who did all our posters and stuff, is one of my favourite sort of renditions of Bernard Matessier and Joshua, and really the feeling for what it was all about. Quite an incredible artist, an incredible story. So that was all pretty epic. Also, what else have we got? Arnaud, I've got a photo here. Our only French entrant. He sent me a photo. I sent a photo of his birth there. That's on the Vendée Marina in Les Sables d'Olonne. And just a funny one, the golden building in the back is actually our GGR office. And just as the race was finishing and we were leaving, they repainted the building and they put it in GGR gold colours. So we thought that was pretty cool. So if you're in Les Sables d'Olonne and you look across and you see the big building there, it's the GGR office. We'll be back there again in 22. So a bit of fun. Anyway, so for today, it's all about Shane, and I've got him here, so I'm going to put him straight up. G'day, Shane. Hopefully you're there. You hear me?
G'day, Don.
Got it. Yep, everything's happening. Not like last week.
G'day, Jane.
Yeah, Jane's.
Yeah, last week was a bit rough.
Yeah, too true. Before we get into it, if you've got a question you want to answered, just stick it in the comments because we can see it on the side here, and if it's a juicy question, I'll be able to hit it. So good to catch you, Shane. Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Brisbane, Don.
Stuck there like everyone else?
Yeah, so can't get out of the state or the country.
Yeah, same here. Bit of a challenge still, because for those of you in Europe that are thinking that everything's opening up in Australia and New Zealand, it's the absolute opposite. Because we've basically got rid of the virus, there's like a really stringent border now, and we're all pretty relaxed inside the country. But they don't want to let anyone in and let anyone out. I have to get special permission to leave the country. If I leave the country, it's unreal. They've trapped us inside. But anyway, we've been lucky, and everyone's reasonably healthy, so that's good. So Shane, rather. Ian's next. Shane, tell me a bit about yourself. When did you get into sailing? What happened with your sailing career?
I started getting interested in sailing in around about the early 1990s. I bought a book called The Third Time. In fact, I've got
Oh,
it here.
third time round.
The
Okay,
third time
BOC.
round about the BOC Challenge, in which you and Robin Davey, much younger looking, star as the communicators. You won the
Okay.
communicator trophy.
Yeah, yeah.
And I actually started following you, Don. And I was very keen on doing the Around Alone.
So
I
had you
think I
sailed before? Like, have you been sailing before that, or it already started?
not before that. In fact, I actually didn't get on a boat until 1995 with a really good mate of mine, Stephen Frost, and I did a sailing course in Port Phillip Bay.
You're
And
kidding.
from that point, I then got into it, bought my first boat in Adelaide and sailed it back to Melbourne through what everyone calls
You know, I'm from Adelaide. What was the boat called that you bought? You remember?
Quintessence.
Quintessence. No, I don't know.
Quinn
Anyway.
Marine owned it.
Yeah.
And so I sailed it back in the roaring 40s, and everyone sort of go,
It wasn't it.
"Ooh-ah."
Was it a Duncanson?
No, it was a Beneteau 41 S5.
Oh yeah. Okay. Just a
Yeah.
yeah.
And
Okay.
just absolutely, and I really didn't know a lot at all, but fell in love with the ocean side of things and took it from there. I ended up getting into racing. I brought the FAR 41 designs to Australia. I built 20 boats and
Really?
set up the circuits and so on, and away we went.
I remember that well. They were quite big deal in their day.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was a big deal. It was a very fast boat. I wanted a boat that I could do the Sydney Hobart in, but also race around the Cairns and not have to spend millions of dollars on it.
So you
And
did the
FAR
Hobart?
40. Yes,
You
in
do any
99.
good? Any good?
Yeah, came ninth.
Oh, that's all right. You can't
Yeah,
complain about that.
and there were 4 FAR 40s in the race, and one of them still holds the 40-foot record from that race.
That's cool. So what about your business career? Like what are you? Or what were you doing? Or what did you do in your normal life? Is you retired now? Or are you still working? Or
I'm well, semi-retired. I was in the army for a number of years.
yeah,
Left the army.
what division or what were you in the army?
I was infantry. I commanded reconnaissance units and things like that.
Yep.
And still have some good mates from the army days. We still stay in touch. Then when I left the army, I ended up working for an American corporation called Intergraph Corporation, where they were basically the world leaders in mapping and geographic information systems at the time.
Yeah.
When I left there, I was a little bit bored with playing golf. And of course, I was into yachting, so that was good, but I needed to do something. So I got a law degree, and I ended up being a criminal barrister for 20 years.
Is that a barrister that's a criminal, or a barrister that works on criminal jobs?
It depends on who you talk to.
So when did you? So you did it from scratch, or you'd already been involved with legal studies a long time before? Or you started late in life.
No, I started late in life. I went back to school.
Yeah.
Went to university. With law in Australia, you've got to have a degree before you do law.
Yeah.
I think that's fairly much worldwide, at least Commonwealth wise. Did that, and as I say, practiced at the bar for 20 years and retired.
Was that at the working bar or the bar, Aussie bar?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both.
So that's amazing. I'm quite stunned about that. But anyway, so that's why you're giving me such a hard time about the rules about making sails and how far you can stretch it with north, and can we?
I'm just doing what I know best, Don.
Yeah, trying to tweak the rules. Anyway, I got a big stick. Anyway, that's cool. So okay, you knew the BOC. So obviously you heard about the GGR as soon as it was happening. Like when we announced it, 15.
Funnily enough, I didn't hear about the 2018, or I would have been in it.
Yeah. Okay.
I was actually I bought a book a long time ago about a boat called Joshua.
Yeah.
Made after Joshua, but it was called Northern Light.
Oh yeah, I know those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
What's his name? Ralph Jelke and Susan Shapiro.
Yeah.
And
It was a Joshua
I,
replica. It was a Meta replica for those that are Joshua fans. Yeah, a red one.
yeah, and I was just sort of flicking through the book. It was in November last year, and as sailing books and so on, as I flick through every now and then, and I looked on the internet to see where that boat was, and what came up was you. And I
Yeah.
thought, oh, here we go again.
Okay.
This
I'll just read my book. You carry on there, and I'll just read here.
This bloke's dogging me. And I saw that, because I wanted to buy the boat that you designed for the Around Alone and build one of those days. And I actually emailed you about it.
We did 22 of those. We built 22 of those.
Amazing. Well, I fell into a bit of sickness at the time, but that was all gone. But I saw that you designed a Joshua, if you like.
Yeah.
And I got in touch with you and said, I'd like to have a look at one of those and so on. And I saw that there was this Golden Globe race. I thought, and there'd already been one run. I said, how did I miss that? How did I miss that?
God, I don't even remember those emails. I get a lot of people inquiring. Yeah. Okay.
And I spoke with, I got in touch with Michael Date.
Yeah.
And said, I'd like to help you out with your campaign.
This is only really recently then, like in the last 12 months. November last year.
November last year. And I said to Michael, I'd like to help you with your boat if I don't become a competitor. Like, that was all tongue in cheek. And I thought about it for a couple of days. I thought, I've got to do this. So
a couple of days,
here I am.
Okay. Well, you're not a last minute entry because we're still a couple of years away. So that's kind of cool. And okay, so why? I mean, well, I suppose it's self-explanatory. You've just been inspired by everything,
Yeah, look, my military days, I took a lot of store in being independent in a lot of things, the adventurous side of it, if you like, and that's followed me through most of my life. And with sailing, I've always, almost like Titanic, I've always stood up on the bow of the boat with my arms spread out and with the wind in my face and thought this would be fantastic to do it solo. Yeah. And it's why? Because it's there.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just the corny question. So what about family? You married? You got kids or anything? They're grown up?
I'm married. I've got 2 children that have left the nest.
Yeah.
Independent lives and so on. And my wife has her own business and she's able to look after herself without me for a while.
So she's going to sponsor you in the race?
Oh, we're not allowed to use the word sponsor.
I know that, but just for old time's sake.
Because I'm retired, she sponsors me in my life.
Yeah, cool.
She tells me that daily.
Why haven't I got someone like that? Anyway, well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. And I got to say, your boat is really way cool. I'll just pull it up here and see if we can. Wrong one for the boat. Hang on. Nope, that's the wrong one again. I pushed too many. I'm going to stick that one out of there. I'll put this one in here. Okay, we've both gone small, but this is the boat. So tell us about the boat, the story behind the boat.
Well, these are stories you only hear somebody else talk about. But I was looking for a boat, a suitable boat for the GGR, and I saw this boat, Promise, on the net, and I contacted the owners, George and Mary Hunt, who are listening. Hi, George. Hi, Mary. And they told me that it was available and what do I want to use it for. And I told them, there's George.
There's George.
And I told them I wanted to do the Golden Globe race. And shortly after that, George and Mary, like they were sent from heaven for sure, said, well, we'll provide the boat for you to do the racing.
Now, there's more to it than that, but how much did it cost?
Well, nothing so far, basically. Look, they've been extraordinarily generous, and the boat is in such good nick. We had it surveyed, of course, and it's a solid hull, solid deck. There's no core in this yacht whatsoever. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. Certainly, it's got age about it and needs a tidy up and so on. And I've got to get the rig checked next. But it's in really good nick.
So it's a Vancouver 36 from about 87 or 78 or something.
No, it's 79.
79. Yeah, it's a nice boat.
There's two Vancouver 36. There's the original, which is a Robert Harris design, which this is, and this is hull number 2.
Yeah.
And then there's another designer then took over the design, if you like, and changed it considerably. So there's two different styles. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a story here about another one. You got to get this out for another GGR entrant.
Yeah,
Who wants a
it's
free boat?
amazing. I had somebody contact me from the States about 2 weeks ago, who said that a relative of theirs had had a stroke, a gentleman, and he's not able to sail anymore, but they need to be able to get rid of the boat, essentially. And I said, well, all right, well, what is it? It's a Vancouver 36 Harris design, and it's for free.
Yeah, to a GGR entrant.
To a GGR entrant.
Yeah.
Sorry, I forgot the qualifier. To a GGR entrant.
And it doesn't count if you've already got a boat. You can't go and get a free one and flog it. But because we've got a few GGR people out there.
I thought about having two myself, one for spares, but
we don't allow multi-hulls. It's okay. But we've got about 6 or 7 people that say their entries are coming in, but we haven't seen them yet. But they're a very nice boat. That's a hot boat. Okay, we've got to get on. We've got to keep moving here. Time's ticking over. I've got some silly questions. First, silly word associations. Okay, hit me with the first thing that comes into your mind when I say money.
GGR. Time.
Yeah.
2 years.
Life.
GGR.
Drogue.
Southern Ocean.
Broken mast.
Southern Ocean.
Overboard.
That's it.
Rump steak.
Mushrooms.
Albatross.
Beauty.
Father. Yeah.
Christmas.
Family.
Love.
Books.
Yachting.
GPS.
Illegal.
Holidays.
GGR.
Adventure. You're hopeless.
Well, I guess you get a little bit sort of one track, don't you? Holidays. Virginia.
Ginger.
Virginia.
Oh, Virginia.
I'm waiting to get out of the country so I can go and see my
boat. Yeah. Wow. You're the most one-track mind we've had so far out of 6, you know. I can see you got the bug real bad. Okay, pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
What do you know a lot about?
Nothing.
Okay. 10. Do you want to elaborate on that?
How much time have you got? Yeah.
Okay. 10 to 20.
17.
What is the first thing you do when you wake in the morning?
I have a pee.
Oh, okay. That's pretty obvious. I think we've got to keep this. Okay, moving right along. 20 to 30.
27.
Should we take life seriously?
At times, yes.
Why?
Because other people rely on you.
Okay, all right. So 30 to 40.
37.
Would you rather be happy or rich?
Is there a difference? Well, happy.
You know,
I think happy because if rich makes you happy, you're happy. If it doesn't, and you're happy, you're happy.
Yeah. Just stay happy. Yeah, absolutely. Like you could be the new philosopher of the race. You can go up against Tapio. Actually, Tapio just launched his OGR boat, and that just reminded me I've got the wrong shirt on. This is OGR. I meant to have a GGR shirt, and Jane just quickly grabbed me a sticker and said, "Quick, put the sticker on your T-shirt." But anyway, Tapio's happy. He's in the water with his other boat. Okay, pick a letter between A and N.
B.
Oh, jeepers. Is cereal soup?
Is cereal soup?
Yeah.
Only if it's alphabet soup.
Oh, that's okay. I'll wear that. All right, that's enough of those. We're just about there. So at that point, I think we'll bring in our new guest here and see if we can get him up on the screen. This is Mr. Ian. Hello, Ian Hanson Jones. How are you?
Hey, I'm very well. Very good. Hey, Shane.
That's cool. Good to see you. Now, Ian has got a very good boat. You want to tell us about your boat, Ian?
Yeah, well, I'm lucky enough to have a Tradewind 35, which was Isfan's boat from the last race called Puffin.
Absolutely. So, yeah, everyone knows this boat. I'll drop it in and we'll go a four-way. So there's the boat. Yeah. Absolute beauty. I'm a bit of a fan of any boat that's not a rustler, as you know. But in particular, I really like Tradewinds. Nothing against rustler, of course. Beautiful boat, just a bit of fun. But yeah, this is a classic boat. So you're happy so far?
Yeah, really pleased with her so far. I mean, we're still refitting. We're locked down like everybody else. So we've lost 3 months now. But in terms of the way we sailed so far, it's fantastic. We're going to make a few changes for the race. Slight change to the way Isfan had it set up. But I had a soft spot for Tradewinds before the race, as you know, Don. So
yeah,
I just like
we'll leave that for later. We'll get rid of the boat. Sorry, I didn't introduce you to Shane, but we were speaking off air before we started, so we we all know what's going on. I got your name wrong, but I call you Hanson. It's not Hanson. I'll let people guess it. I said it's Ian Hanson Jones.
Close enough, Don. I mean, it's GGR. We don't want to worry about the details too much, right?
Exactly. People don't realise I'm dyslexic, but that's another story. I don't hide behind anything. I am who I am, and I is what I is, or whatever they say. Anyway, so Shane, why, now that you know that Ian has a boat, my favourite question: what makes you think you're going to beat Ian in the GGR? This is a question to you, Shane.
Who said I was?
Well, no. If you okay, you win. That makes it really easy for you now, Ian. Why are you gonna beat Shane?
Why am I going to beat Shane? Well, yeah. I think Shane's answer was actually very good to that. I think as competitive, we're going to be in sight of each other for 30,000 miles as we go around the world. We'll let you know on the last 24 hours, Don, as we come in.
Okay, that makes sense. This is called keeping your options open. This is reminding me, we have a program here. I don't know whether they have it in England. It's called Big Brother, where they all live in the one house and they got to vote each other out. It sounds like you're already playing the game, So he's going to vote everyone out.
We're good at wing keels and all that sort of stuff, keeping secrets.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So, okay, so you're on the sideline, Ian. So, Shane, what do you think is your biggest fear? Like, what's the one thing that worries you the most about the GGR at the moment?
I think at the moment it's making the start line.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, I think that's a common one because it's going to bunch up big time. We're coming up.
I think you'd be lying if you didn't say the stretch of time, the loneliness. We all have some innate fear about the Southern Ocean, particularly around Cape Horn, I'd say, if you copped a bad one. So they're just some of the things that travel through your mind, and hope that you get sunny and nice, fair weather.
Yeah. Okay. And so then in terms of, you say that's the biggest worry, getting the start. So what's the biggest issue for you getting to the start now? Is it money, or is it just logistics, or is it, learning to navigate, whatever? What do you think is?
No, I think I'm okay with all of that, and sailing. I sort of know how to sail a boat, obviously.
Yeah.
I think at the moment it's partially this COVID thing and the shutdown, but other than that, it's money. It's making sure that there's enough to do it properly. I'd hate to do it sort of a half shot. I want to do it properly. I want to be competitive. I want Ian to have a really good look at my stern for as long as possible.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, and so let's compare the sailing program I mean, Ian, you're already sailing now. You're pretty much ready to go. You've got a new hydrovane on the back. You've got your rig sorted. You've got sails. The boat's ready to go. I suppose you're just waiting for the pandemic to disappear so you can go sailing.
That was the idea. Yeah, finish off this. This is like the semi refit is my thought process, and then, as you say, go sailing, try and get some miles in. You know.
Yeah. Okay.
And then come back before the race and do another refit, make changes. Okay. Yeah.
All right, we can talk about that next week because you'll be on for the whole 10 minutes next week. So, what's your sailing program, Shane? When you
well, as soon as I can get over to Virginia, the yacht's at Cohen Marina, down at the mouth of the Chesapeake. So the idea is to get across there as soon as I can, check the rig, make sure that that's okay to at least sail in for the moment. If I need to replace it, well, then that'll happen in due course. But I really want to get to know the boat myself and just get the feel of it. I've got new sails that I hope to be getting not too far down the track. And then really I want to start to work on it. I want to go to Bermuda and back, a few other longer solo sails, and then sail across the Atlantic.
So what's the biggest solo sail you've done so far?
I haven't done one.
Oh, okay.
I haven't done a solo. I've done two-handed, but I've never done a totally solo race. And of course, two-handed, you're up there running everything yourself, hoping your mate's having a good sleep for when you yell out next. But I haven't solo sailed yet.
Yeah. So, what do you think for you? What is the essence to do well in the GGR? What's the key elements of doing well? And by that, it can mean different things. Doing well, but what do you think is the most important thing you got to do? To do it right.
Well, I think it's a balance of getting the right rest, so as I can make the right decisions. When I need to, but staying on top of the trim. I think the more I can keep the yacht trimmed and sailing as best as she can, then that's the trick. And as long as you can maintain that trim, 9 months is a long time, and just even picking up half a knot a day. I know it sounds very small, but it could be big.
Okay, Ian. So what's the party time? What's the most fun thing? What's the one thing you're looking forward to the most about the GGR?
On the race itself.
I don't care about being involved from now until when you cross the finish line.
Don, I'm so looking forward to that start line. I can't tell you. The idea of going down that canal out of Sable d'Olonne with the crowds and hopefully getting more than 100 meters before I have to come back. The start line is because, we all say the same thing, right? Getting to the start line is super tough, and we're all nervous about that. And that'll be a massive milestone. Go across that line, and then it's down to what Shane was saying. I just want to make sure I haven't made a silly mistake in the prep. That means I have to, turn back 2 weeks later or something like that. I want to give it the best I can at least. So, but that start looks tremendous. It looked fantastic last time. I think it'll be bigger this time. So
it's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to getting back to La Sable d'Olonne. They've got a lot happening now. On the 4th of July, they've got the Vendée sort of qualifying race up the Arctic. That'll be online. Be able to follow that. And then, of course, November the 8th is the Vendée, which is pretty cool. That's the next big globe race. So, fun place. Anyway, so what about for you? What's the most fun element for you, Shane?
I agree with Ian. Being over there the first couple of weeks and meeting all the other competitors, I think that even though I've only spoken to a few of the guys, there's a comradeship sort of developing as we travel along, and watching how each other is faring and feeling the same things. I already know that we all think pretty much the same sort of way. And it's one of those things where you cross the start line, you all cross together. There's an achievement there for all of us.
Yeah. But don't believe everything you hear. Ian wants to show you his butt for all the way around as well. He wants to show you your chance of big time.
I've got a really nice hydrovane on the back, Shane. You can take a look at that if you like. You've got a light on it so you can see it at night. So
look, you and I might do what Don and Rob and Davey did, and we might get the communicators trophy or something like that.
Well, we don't have one in the GGR. We're actually going to have different. There's a few things happening that some people are forgetting, but we're actually having new sort of trophies on the way around. Like there'll be a prize for first into Lanzarote. There'll be another one first into Cape Town, first into Hobart. You know, past Point Nemo in the Southern Ocean, Southern Pacific Ocean.
Ian, your mental piece is going to be chocker.
Hey, John, have you got a most improved one? Because maybe that'll be me.
Well, it could be really embarrassing. I mean, I'm sure Ispan will be watching this. Or he may. He'll watch next week. But you see, he's got a big problem now, because you can race his time, right? And I know you've got to. Well, I got to be careful what I say because I upset so many people. But you know, you've got a good windmate on the back there at the moment. So anyway, and Ispan will be very happy to know that the boat's going fast. So it's going to be interesting for him.
Yeah, he put a lot of love in today. He did a fantastic job of the boat. So I got a great starting point, you know.
Yeah.
Time is the big challenge now, Shane, right? Time
Yes.
is killer. Yeah.
You stay ahead of it because it's going to go really fast, I was speaking to Graham Dalton in New Zealand just this morning, and he's having all sorts of trouble. He's got his boat in Le Sable d'Olonne. He bought John Luke's boat, and he can't get to the boat. He's buggered. You know, he can't get out of the country. He can't work out what's going on. You know, very frustrating for him. And then the weather turns. You know, and he can't sail it. So yeah, there's a few frustrations. You know, but all part of the fun. Okay, so anything? Let me look through the questions here. Let's see. So what's the one thing you'd like to say to all your fans watching, Shane?
Oh, come along for the ride.
Hey.
What, George and Mary?
Oh yeah, George and Mary.
All my fans. Well,
what an
come along for the ride. Follow us. Follow the other guys as well. Look at their preparation and have a look at the effort and the work they're putting into it. And you know, if you like somebody in the race, support them. Get behind them.
Yeah, exactly. We've had a few entrants got really good deals on the boats, but no one's ever been sort of given one to go use the boat. You know, I know Gurav had a deal. There was another guy in the last race that never made it to the start. He got a really cheap deal on his boat. I know John Clark's got a cheap deal. You know, there is some people that jump in big time there. Gurav sent a question. What's your secret weapon for the race, Shane? What's your secret weapon?
It'd have to be the website that Gurav is helping me put together.
Good.
Okay, makes sense. Yep. I just got a complaint from Aida, just saying we speak too fast. She's French, of course, English French. So we should have been slowing down, but if we slow down, we can't get a lot happening between now and then. So you guys must be boring everyone because there's no questions here. I have 2 questions up there. Hang on, that was from Gurav. He asked too many questions, so can't see it. One is Gurav's telling me I got the wrong T-shirt. What's the success? Okay, so Shane, what would you call success in the GGR? When it's all over, if you've achieved something, what would that be in your mind for it to be a success?
Finishing the race and then cheering for Ian when he comes in.
Very diplomatic. Yeah, I don't think we've had a legal eagle in the race before. So it's good. It's very clear in the notice of race. We do not have a protest procedure, so that's easy. But you'll have the People's Court. The People's Court is all the other entrants. So
there's always natural justice, Don.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's all pretty good. So I think that's about all. Anything you'd like to say, Ian, before we get rid of you?
No, I'll see you next week. It's great to meet Shane like this. I think we need to do more of these, right?
Yeah, well, we might be. Our entrance conference might be by video conference. Yet we don't know. For those watching, every year we have a conference and we try and get all the entrants together in one place, like the Sable d'Olonne or in London or wherever. And this year's completely gone out the window. So we got to work out what we're going to do. So anyway, we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's the world's changing. I mean, we're planning different things. You know, like in an organisational sense with potential sponsors and other stuff, and it's all happening online now. So that saves a bit of money, saves a bit of pollution and so on. So that's good. Yes. One question. Oh, I've got a question there. Jane's telling me there's a question. You want to tell me what it is? Oh, there's a late question from Claire Lewis. What inspired you to just enter the race, Shane? We've already sort of done that. I'm a bit embarrassed asking it again.
Oh, no, don't know. Don McIntyre inspired me to enter the race.
So if you're just watching now, Claire, you'll have to go back to the beginning. It's a bit of a long story. But anyway, I got to say, it's funny how it all works, because I've been inspired by many, many different people to do some crazy things. And one of the best things that ever happened to me, it was a corny thing, but when I was living in Antarctica for a year with Margie, in a little box chained to the rocks and all that sort of stuff, we came out of that after a year of total isolation and did some school talks. And a few years ago, I forget, maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I met a pretty hot young bloody mini 650 sailor who happened to be one of those little school kids in a classroom that we did the talk to, and he comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm doing all this because you started it all." I couldn't believe it. It's quite fun. So it goes around, and I'm saying that in a sense that part of the reason the GGR exists is to inspire people. So I'm quite certain both of you will end up inspiring a group of people. And yes, there's going to be challenges, and yes, there's going to be dramas again, and yes, not everyone's going to finish, and yes, everyone will be there to talk about it at the end of the day. But it's an incredible event, and it's all about the entrance. So it's all pretty cool. So I'm not sailing again, I'm bloody organising. So you guys will be inspiring me again. But I got the little boat. I'm going sailing in the little boat.
Really? Yeah.
Anyway, okay, that's enough of that. I think we're time to sign off. So I'm going to get rid of you, Ian. Thanks, and we'll see you next week, same time, same place, and we'll talk about something. I'm not sure what.
Ian.
See ya. And Shane, thanks, Shane. It's funny, we're in Tassie, we're in Hobart, of course. So you're up that way from us. You're up there about 1,000 miles or something. I don't know how close we're going to get, because we've got to go back once everything opens up. But we'll see. Good luck with your planning. I hope the GGR Entrant calls you up and says, "Where's that free boat in America?" Because they're hot boats. It's quite a cool boat, eh?
They are really good design, aren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Not exactly a far 40, but for GGR, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you
All right.
once again, and I'll say goodbye, and we'll see you again shortly. I'm sure you'll have another rule that you want to twist and see if you can squeak it down the line, and get it approved.
Sure. See you later, George and Mary. Thanks very much again. Can't wait to catch up.
Thanks, George and Mary. Appreciate the support, eh? That's quite cool.
Yeah, my word.
Very impressive.
Thanks, Don. Thanks, Joe.
Thanks. See you later. Okay, that's it. So we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you again, same time, same place next week. Maybe you want to share it, tell everyone how cool the GGR is. And I promise to wear a GGR t-shirt next week. Bye-bye.